Welcome to Invisible Strings, where we tug at the little threads that hold our lives together. From mental health and relationships to marriage, motherhood, and all the beautiful chaos in between. I'm Katie, your guide to navigating life's tangled web, one string at a time. Think of this as your weekly dose of insight, sprinkled with a bit of laughter, some heartfelt chats, and maybe even a happy tear or two. So, whether you're juggling a million things or you just need a break, let's untangle life together, because those invisible strings, they're what keep us connected. This is Invisible Strings. Let's get started. Hey friends, welcome back to Invisible Strings. My name's Katie and I'm your host. I'm so excited to be back. It's been a few weeks now, and it's been a hard couple weeks and also a really exciting couple weeks. So I am really excited because this is the last time I'll be filming my podcast from my house. I ended up getting this incredible studio space. Part of the space will be used for Invisible Strings, and the other majority of the space will be used for Poppy Rhodes Portraits, which is my photography studio. I'm so excited. If you didn't know, I have been a photographer for 15 years now. I put it on hold for the last couple of years. I have been doing shoots. I just haven't really been advertising them. But now I have this incredible space to do branding sessions and headshots and kids. In my mind, I envision like classic kids portraits, black and white, beautiful, sweet, soft pictures. I'm so excited about that. And I get the keys tomorrow. And I'm going to go in right away. I have painters coming and furniture being delivered, and it's going to be really, really exciting. So I will be filming next week's episode from the studio. Following week will be a new series, and I will start having guests. I feel so lucky and so excited that I've been obedient to what God has called me to do. Most important reason, though, is that people are feeling like they're seen and they're heard, and they feel like they have a friend. I'm excited today. This is going to be the third series of 4 on friendship. Today, I'm talking about the 4. Who are your 4? So this subject has been kind of tugging on my heart for probably over a month now. A friend of mine had asked me, we had been talking about friendships and talking about how your friendships change so much in your 30s and 40s, and you're looking for real, authentic people. At least I am, and people that will go deep with you, not surface friendships. That's so like your 20s. And she gave me the analogy of the 4 friends. And I'm like, what do you mean by that? And she said, who are your 4 friends? Like the paralyzed man, who are the 4 that will carry you to Jesus when you can't carry yourself? And I was like, wow, that totally blew my mind. And you're right. Who are my 4? So I thought this is a great subject, especially about friendship and the kind of friends that you surround yourself with, the kind of friends that will pick you up when you're paralyzed and bring you to Jesus. So I want you to imagine this. Let's imagine what is happening right now in Mark chapter 2. I want you to imagine that Jesus is in town. Everyone's talking about it. Everyone's hearing about it. Everybody wants to meet him. Who is this miracle worker? And you think, one of my friends is paralyzed their entire life. We need to get him to Jesus. We'll just carry him. So they get 3 more friends and they carry this man to where Jesus is, but the crowds are overflowing and it's impossible to get to him. But these 4 men were determined to get their paralyzed friend in front of Jesus, that they literally climbed to the top of a roof and ripped a hole in the roof and lowered their friend down. I mean, let's talk about friendship goals, right? And here's the part that gets me every single time. Jesus heals the man, but he doesn't heal him because of his faith. He healed him because of his friend's faith. That's amazing. So today I'm asking you, who are your 4? And who are the people that will carry you when you can't carry yourself? I have more than four. Not many more than four, but I definitely have four. I think five or six, though, to be totally honest. And that's amazing to go from zero to go from like one or two to five or six. That was a very, very, very big answered prayer. You have his four friends who could have said, it's too crowded. Let's try tomorrow. But they didn't. They stuck it out. They figured out a plan. And they went above and beyond, literally digging through the roof and lowering him down. I cannot imagine that this could have been easy. And I bet it was super messy and very inconvenient. And it cost them their time. It cost them their energy, and it probably cost them some social capital. Imagine the looks they got from the crowd. I feel like a lot of us probably feel that way right now. I feel like we're in this kind of strange time where you're going to do what you have to do because you're a warrior, but that's not going to stop the strange looks. And I feel like the closer you get to Jesus, the stranger you look to people. And I think that happens a lot to a lot of us. Either way, though, their friend's healing mattered to them. Making sure that friend was able to at least get in front of Jesus was so important that they didn't care. And that's what real friendship looks like. Let's bring it closer to home. Life gets heavy. It's been heavy for a little while now for a lot of us. And sometimes we're the paralyzed friend. Like, we're the paralyzed one. We're the one that's stuck and we're unable to move forward. And other times we're the one of the four. We're the one that is called to carry our friend. And here's the truth. You can't walk through life alone. We're not supposed to do life alone. We're literally called to do life in community. We all need people who are going to carry us to Jesus when we can't get there ourselves. So I think there's many types of friends, but there are four specific types of friends. And it was very funny because last week, one of my girlfriends was talking to me. She happens to be a welder. And she said, I will make your armor of God. And I was like, what? And she's like, I'm a welder. I can be your armor bearer. And I was like, my armor bearer? And she's like, yeah, I can create your armor. And I just thought the visualization of that was so beautiful. I mean, it's so rare, anyways, that you see a female welder. And if you guys saw this girl, you would be blown away because she's probably the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And she's a welder. And she's a little bit of everything. She's amazing. And she said, I will weld your armor. And I just thought that was so beautiful. And I don't even remember what we were talking about really, but then we started talking about the different kinds of friends that you have and the roles that each of your friends play and how that's so important too. And how you don't want friends that are all the same, but that bring you different things, like that have different qualities. So I wanted to break down at least these four roles. And I think each one is very unique. And sometimes one friend can, I guess, fill multiple roles. Like, I can see that a lot of my friends can play a lot of these different roles. So I'm going to start with the armor bearer. So this is your prayer warrior. This is the one who goes to battle for you in the unseen, the one who makes your armor. She is the one that will intercede for you and will remind you of scripture when you're too weary to pray. And she is the one who will make sure that you are ready for battle before you go into the field. You have to have an armor bearer. You have to have someone that literally has your front and your back and your sides, and she will tell it how it is. Okay, so the builder. So the next type of friend is a builder. They're the practical ones. They show up with meals when you're sick. They drive your kids to practice. They help you problem solve. They sit on the edge of your bed with you and help you problem solve. Because it's important. Faith is not just spiritual. It's so hands-on. And adding those extra hands in the mix is so important. And this is going to sound funny. The first part of being a builder is like showing up and helping out and bringing food. And why do we always bring food? Like, I probably am the only one in the whole world that doesn't like it, but I hate meal trains. I really don't like it when people ask me if they can make me a meal train. I have had one meal train my whole life, and I was like, never again. I don't like people making me food and bringing it, not because like I don't enjoy people's cooking. I just don't enjoy casseroles. I might be the only one. Do you want to make me some bread? Yes, I would love that. Like, I think that after I had one of my kids, people brought me lots of casseroles and it was so overwhelming to me. And there was so much food and they just kept coming. And I'm like, I don't need any food. Thank you. So, whenever anybody gets sick or someone needs help, the first thing I'll say to them is, first of all, do you want food? Like, do you want it? And do you like when people make you food? Because if you don't, I will not be offended. I will get you a gift card. You can go whatever you want. So that's just like a funny thing about me, but you always need a builder. You need a builder friend, someone who's just hands on, who's there, jumps in at any time. They're so important. Then you have the truth teller. These are my favorite. Can I tell you why? I think the reason why I don't do well in like corporate is because I want to get to the point. I don't want to be given a whole entire like cushy story before you tell me that you're not going to give me the promotion or I'm not right for the job. Like, just tell me I'm not right for the job or whatever it is. Like, please don't try to like soften the blow with like a whole story or, you know, PR. Don't try to soften the blow with like, I know the minute people start doing it, the minute you start telling me like three or four things that you really like about something that I did or who I am or whatever, I know you're going to then end with something that, or the next thing is going to be something you don't like, but then you're going to end with something positive. Like, I got that formula. I don't like it. Just tell me exactly what you want to say right away. I don't need to be like buttered up before you tell me you don't like something. So I really love a truth teller. Like, I love a truth teller. Um, they love you enough to be honest. It's so important to be honest. They don't just tell you what you want to hear, they tell you what you need to hear. So, Katie, that's not your style. You can't wear that dress. That doesn't look right. Please don't make me go out in public with something that looks ridiculous because you didn't want to try to hurt my feelings. Be a truth teller. Everyone be a truth teller. Um, Here's a good example. So in Proverbs 27:6, it says, wounds from a friend can be trusted. Yes. If you're going to tell me this because you love me and I know your heart is pure and I know you have no other intentions other than to see the best in me, I love that. Please, please be a truth teller. So I have not always been an easy person to tell the truth to. I think that makes sense. I would get defensive right away. Always. Like since I was little, I'm sure there's a reason for it. Probably my anxiety, always feeling defensive. And I don't know if it's because I turned 40 or whatnot, but I realized how much better it feels to take accountability for the things that you've done or the things that you're doing. It feels so much better instead of being defensive all the time. So I've not always been an easy person to be a truth teller for because I don't know, I just haven't. And in the last 3 years, I have gotten like, I crave it. So, and here's the deal, you guys, like most of the time, if we haven't been a good friend or if we've done something wrong, like we know it. It's not a surprise when someone tells you. But man, it feels so good when someone has the courage to tell you. And then you can also have the courage to say, you're right. That wasn't what was supposed to happen, or I shouldn't have acted that way, or I did act that way. It's just so freeing. I had a friend of mine who I was being honest with. I was being a truth teller. And I was like, I'm so happy that you told me these things because I felt like it was so hard to break down your walls. I've never felt like I can get close to you it's like you always have a wall. And she said, "Can I tell you something without you getting angry with me?" And I already knew what she was going to tell me. I already knew it. Like I already knew. And I was so excited that she told me. And she said, when I first came here, you weren't a good friend to me. And I'm like, I know. And she said, I was really lonely and you weren't a good friend to me. And like the past Katie would have been like, oh, I can't believe she would have said that. That's so rude. How could she say something like that? But the new version of Katie was like, yeah, I know. I know I wasn't a good friend. And I know that I let other people influence me and it was really mean and I'm really sorry. I think she was like, I've never had a friend like accept or take responsibility for what they've done. Like it's always turned into a fight, which is why she prefaced it with like, "Can I tell you something and be vulnerable and you not get mad at me?" So that was a conversation with a truth teller that really changed a lot for me. It was like a hard line in the sand, and it felt good to apologize. It felt good to kind of release that off of my subconscious. I'm sure it felt good for her that I was able to be honest and vulnerable and not make her look like she was crazy. Like, what are you talking about? I wasn't like that. No, I was like that. You're right. And I'm really sorry. And I truly believe that like apologies are amazing, but if they don't garner any sort of change, then what's the point of apologizing? And so I apologized with like fully realizing that I was going to make this change. So truth teller is my favorite. I also love the encourager. Okay. So the encourager is like the cheerleader. I have some amazing cheerleaders on my team, and they are just the voice of hope. When I've lost my spark and I could maybe never even say anything, but they can hear it in my voice. And an example of this is I have a girlfriend who we had a little foster boy for a few weeks, maybe a month and a half, 2 months. And he ended up leaving very abruptly. They brought him to a home that was closer to his mom. Uh, and they gave us an hour of notice, and I was substitute teaching and the kids were at school and Brad was here with him and he loved Brad, like loved him. And they texted me and said, "We'll be there in an hour." I'm like, "Who? What are you talking about? We're coming to take the little boy to a home that's much closer to his mom's house because he lives 2 hours away from where we live." And so every Tuesday, he'd have to go up there for 30 minutes, 2 hours up, 2 hours back. And he's 4. And it was ridiculous. I think he was going to end up needing more of a like a permanent home. And that wasn't going to be our home. We weren't looking for a permanency. And they took him and they came in an hour and it was really, really hard. And it was really upsetting. And it was really upsetting for him as a 4-year-old little boy. And it was upsetting for us, but like we have adult hearts. He has a little heart and he's already gone through so much stuff, and they never told us that they were coming to get him. And he was hysterical. He was just so hysterical that he couldn't breathe. And Brad put him in the car and hugged him and kissed him. And he said, "I love you guys so much. I love you guys so much." And it was really heartbreaking. And I saw it on the Ring camera when I was at school. And I heard him screaming inside the house from the outdoor Ring camera. And then they brought him out to the house and brought him into the car. And the social worker that came to get him, it was her 3rd week. And she was crying and Brad was crying and our little boy was crying, and she looked at Brad, she hugged him and she said, "I don't think I'm fit for this. Like I don't think I can ever do this again. I don't think this is the right job for me." It was really, really upsetting. hadn't talked to any of my friends about it. I actually didn't even tell my mom and dad. I was so incredibly upset. I felt guilty, and I was just like, maybe we should have just adopted him. Like that was the worst thing that I've ever experienced in my entire life, so much so that I never want to do it again ever. And I closed off, like shut down. And my girlfriend texted me, and I texted her back with a voice note, and I just said, how are you doing? What's going on? Gave her the story really quickly, and sat down on my couch. And at this point, this was maybe 4 days after this had happened. I hadn't even cried yet. And she walked into my house, probably 10 minutes later, with her baby. And she's like, "You are not okay." Like, she walked directly into the house, directly beeline towards me. And I just fell down crying. I was so sad and so broken. And she was there, and she could hear it in my voice, in the voice message, and I didn't even know that I needed it. And there she was. And to be totally honest, like, I hadn't told anybody. Like, I was on the phone with my other girlfriend, who's another cheerleader, and was just starting to tell her about it when my girlfriend walked in. It's really special, and it's really important to have a cheerleader. They remind you of who you are and whose you are. It's important to remember that you are the daughter of a king. Their lives, their words will breathe life into your life just by their words. A year and a half ago, I needed something to change. I needed life to be breathed into me again. I prayed to God that He would change my circumstances, that He would bring me women and friendships that were rooted, that had deep, deep roots in the ground, rooted in their faith, rooted in their family, rooted in themselves, confident women. And it's like I asked, and He just handed them to me. When I say that words are important, they're so important. I remember that one night I was on Instagram. I'm scrolling through pages, and I come across this page, and I'm like, wow, this girl is so beautiful. And what is this organization that she's part of? And I'm just go down a rabbit hole, know all about her. And the next day I went to church. I talked to this guy, and he was asking me about what I was interested in, what I did for a job. And I talked to him about mental health and really being drawn to helping women and teens with mental health issues and disorders. And he said, I need to introduce you to somebody. And if you've been on this page for a while, you know what I'm talking about. But he took me out to the atrium and tapped Jules on the shoulder. And she turned around. She was wearing her little backpack. She turned around and she's like, hi. And from that point on, we started voice texting each other every day. And it started right away, actually. It was like immediate. And she was breathing life back into my dead body. When I tell you dead body, I felt like I had nothing left. I had lost my entire self. And this woman who did not even know me, I mean, our souls knew each other, obviously, but like didn't actually really even know me, just breathed life back into me, like made me a human again. It's crazy. It's crazy how words matter and how words breathe life into you. And I know firsthand, like I felt it. Have you guys ever had that? Have you ever felt like you were in a place that you were so low and so dead inside, and someone breathes life back into you with their words? It's amazing. And it's such a gift to be able to do that for somebody. But do you know what that means, you guys? It means that they have to be rooted. It means they have to be rooted in their own self, in God, in their faith, in confidence. Like, it's hard to pour in what you don't even have inside of yourself. It's hard to pour into other people if you aren't already full. And I'm sure that some of these girls would be like, I wasn't even full. I don't know how I was able to do that. And that's just supernatural power. I mean, that's just God's grace all over it. And it's so incredible. So get yourself an encourager, find a friend like that, and hold on to them tight because it's a beautiful gift. Another thing I wanted to add is that in Shine, we have a Friendsgiving coming up. It's like the biggest event of the year for Shine teens. And this year it's on words and how words matter and how words can breathe life into you. And I'm so excited because it is going to be called Invisible Crowns. It's a little bit of a play on invisible strings, but imagine this imagery, okay? So we all wear crowns, right? We all have crowns. And the idea is to fix each other's crowns, but they're invisible because we don't get to wear crowns around all the time. Although I would love that. Please give me a crown each day of the week. That would be amazing. But these crowns are invisible. And so, how do we fix each other's crowns every day? Words. Words are what are going to fix each other's crowns and are going to hold our head up high and throw our shoulders back and walk in confidence like the warriors that we are. And so, I love that the last friendship is the encourager because that's exactly what we are in the midst of putting this entire event together. It's November and I'm just really excited. And I just think that even while I've been talking about this and talking about this kind of friendship, like it's made me even more excited for our event and to see these girls. And I think we're going to have over 100 girls between middle school and high school, and it's going to be incredible. I'm really excited for it. And I think that these girls are going to learn so much. And just to be able to breathe life back into somebody, that's so powerful. Okay, so now I want you guys to pause and think for a second. And I'm sure you've been thinking while we've been doing this podcast, but who are your four? Like, who are the four people in your life that are going to carry you when you can't carry yourself? Who are those people? Do you have these people in your life? Maybe you have one or two, or maybe one does all of them, or maybe you don't have any. Maybe you feel lonely. Are you in the midst of little kids and newborns? It's such a beautiful time. It's also such a very tiring time. And while our children are beautiful gifts from God and miracles, it still can be hard and lonely. And so if you don't have these friends yet, that's okay. Like, pray about it. And I'm serious because if you pray about it, you will get it. Pray for what you want. Pray for what your heart desires because God's desires it for you as well. Just pray about it. Don't beat yourself up because you don't have it yet. I am 44 years old now, and these friends did not come around until a year and a half ago. Of course, I had my amazing friends from back home, but not here. So it's also transition in life. Who are those four people for you? Do you have gaps? If you have if you have a big group of friends, but you still don't feel like you have those people, you need to find new friends. Maybe you have an encourager, but you need a truth teller. Or maybe you have a truth teller and you need an encourager. And on the flip side, who are you being for someone else? Are you a truth teller or an encourager or an armor builder or a builder? Right now in this Bible study that I'm in, we're doing Nehemiah and we're in chapter 2 and 3, and we're talking about the wall and how how the whole city is destroyed, but they're trying to rebuild the wall. And the imagery in these two chapters are just all these different kinds of people have come together to rebuild the wall. All different kinds, from servants to goldsmiths to rulers. They're all working together to build the wall. And you can think of that as like your friendship too. Like, who is working together to build who you are and to encourage you and help you in what you're doing. So who are you being for someone else? I want to encourage you guys to write down the names of your 4, pray over them, or maybe 4 that you want, maybe people whose names you don't even have yet. And if you don't have that full list yet, ask God to bring them into your life because He will. Friendship is powerful. The paralyzed man walked out of that house forgiven and healed because of his friend's faith. So let me leave you with this question. When life gets too heavy, who will carry you to Jesus? And when your friends can't walk on their own, will you be strong enough to carry them? Let's be those kind of friends. Let's find those kind of friends. And let's remember that the ultimate friend is Jesus, the one who carries us all. Guys, that might have been one of my most favorite episodes. And I just want to thank you for hanging out with me today. If this message spoke to you, share it with a friend, maybe one of your 4. And as always, keep looking for those invisible strings that connect us back to faith, love, and each other. Have a great week. Thank you for joining me today on this episode of Invisible Strings, where we've tugged at a few threads and hopefully left you with a smile and something to think about. Remember, life's connections might be invisible, but they're oh so strong. If you enjoyed today's chat, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could use a little string pulling in their life. Until next time, keep those invisible strings intact, and I'll see you back here soon for more heartfelt conversations and a dash of fun. Stay connected, stay kind, and keep untangling.